All right, welcome to another episode of Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. I am your host. A little bit about the show Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. We are a caller driven show where callers will have 2 minutes. You can get, wow, man, it's been a wild day, but you will have 2 minutes to call into 940-329-4110. That is the call in number. Now, let me go over the rules for the rule breakers. On Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr., man, we don't talk politics. We don't talk race relations. I don't give a fat rat's butt what the Republicans are doing, nor do I care what the Democrats are doing. We don't talk sexual orientation. All are welcome to attend and call in and do all that good stuff. And as usual, I am always rocking standard uniform, augmented by the cool beard, along with the official hat with the logo that tells everybody, although I'm a card carrying Commander fan, I am as neutral as Switzerland. Now, on the show, we give advice, but man, we do not give sound advice. No, we don't. Our show is probably rated PG 13, and that's for strong parent guidance as is authorized or whatever, recommended. And we're always sponsored by Crown Royal. Yes, indeed. Now, let's jump right into this thing, man. This is our last show of the year, and we end the season with always talking about the Super Bowl. In fact, I'm not even going to waste time and let the audience listen to me. We're going to jump right into this thing. Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. Sport. What say ye, Brandon? Look, brother, when it's all said and done, first of all, let me say this. Congratulations to all the Seattle Seahawks fans, enemies, or whatever, frenemies. Job well done. Job well done. What say ye, brother Coop? Yes, he did. And let me get a little, I wouldn't say a kick, but let me say this to the Cowboy fans. Now, it seems like the only way you get a ring if you got to lead the Cowboys. Did my man say that? I would never get a ring for Dallas. I love playing for the Cowboys, but DeMarcus Lawrence says, man, I got to go somewhere else. No, no. Yes, every time. Every time. And I was talking to a few friends, and they were asking me, "Who do you think gonna win the game?" And and I don't want to be one of those people to say, "Well, this is what I said," because I said that it was going to pretty much be a blowout, and I just thought that Seattle was a team that had peaked and they was rolling downhill. And my only concern was whether they were going to come out rusty after that 2 week layoff. That was my only concern because I knew that they were ready to go. And boy, like you said, it was just a defensive game. I think I don't even think the Patriots even had 60 yards of total offense in the first half. Yes. True. True. Well, now let me ask you this question here, brother. For the AFC, did the best team go to the Super Bowl? Right. Yes. True. Oh, I agree. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Now, here's the thing, though. B, if you are a owner, what are you gonna say to your coach, to your GM, who traded away, pitched away, whatever a way we want to use Sam Donald? Because how do you say we cannot win with this guy, and this guy is holding up the Lombardi? Somebody got some explaining to do. Right.
about coaching. Now, with Sam Darnold, the type of quarterback that a lot of things have to fall in place for him to win, yes. He's not like the other quarterbacks where you can put him on a team that ain't worth jack stuff and he can make everybody better. That's not who he is. But can you put him on a team where you tell him, don't turn the ball over and we can win? Yes. But other teams have to understand that you did not have the infrastructure to develop a quarterback. The New York Jets, yes, did not have the infrastructure, nor do you have one today to develop a quarterback, and that's on y'all. That's on y'all. So a lot of teams, should they feel stupid? Should they feel bamboozled and played because of the situation? Yes. And you got to live with that situation. But can you be mad at them for how they just said, "All right, we're gonna let Sam Darnold ride"? Can't be mad at them because it's hindsight is 50-50. Well, hindsight is 2020. So I can't be mad at nobody.
But here's the thing: you could take that same premise and apply it to the young man that's the quarterback for the Panthers. And I wholeheartedly agree with you in terms of what some of the veteran quarterbacks are saying because 9 times out of 10, if you draft high and you pick a quarterback in the first round, you only get to draft high because you are a bad team. Am I right or wrong? That's how you get a first round because you're a bad team.
That's incorrect.
So the average first round draft pick is not gonna walk into a team with all systems in place. He's not walking into a team 9 times out of 10 where he's got a number one receiver and a number one tight end, and hell, probably won't even have a good offensive line. And so at some point, do you take all that into consideration when you say, okay, regardless of how we are, I'm going to roll with this young quarterback at least 3 years because we vested a first round draft pick in him to see what we got, which gives us enough time to build a supporting cast around the young quarterback. But what I see, because a lot of times you get these young quarterbacks, they go for this particular team and don't work out. Then they go somewhere else. Then a lot of times when you hear them talk, some of these guys have three, four offensive coordinators for every year that they've been in the league. And so at some point, because that's what I'm saying, at some point, you got to take a long look at those teams for which Sam Darnold was in because now it took him going to play for the Vikings to get with what was called a quarterback whisperer. Somebody that was pretty much on the offensive side of the ball to actually, show him how to slow the game down in his mind. Because like you said, Sam Darnold is not, as of today, he's not one of the elite top five quarterbacks. But now there were some plays in today's game where he had to make a play. So it's not like we can say, well, he just driving the bus, And there's nothing wrong with being the bus driver quarterback because if you got all systems in place, you just don't need the quarterback to lose the game for you. But I saw now there were some moments when I was like, okay, Sam's starting to get happy feet. He's starting to throw the ball when he don't have to. It's like, okay, slow the game down in your mind and go through your progression. And it's almost like he battles with the old Sam, and I think that has to do with a lack of confidence that they kind of tore the young man down, make them think, okay, you're a first round draft pick, you should be doing this. Nope, you're not good. We're getting rid of you. So I just know if I'm an owner, I need to call my GM and my head coach in, and then they got to explain to me why the guy that we got rid of is holding the Lombardi Trophy.
So I'm gonna say it like this, right? If I'm looking at the draft pick, Sam Darnold was the number 3 overall pick in 2018, right?
Yep.
2019, they drafted Quinn Williams. 2020, Brees Hall was drafted in the
Yes.
Actually, Brees Hall was drafted in 2022 with Garrett Wilson. Bryce Hall was drafted in 2018. But when you have a quarterback like that, this goes on the coaching staff and the owner because we understand that a lot of people cannot and will not take accountability for their actions.
True.
When you have a quarterback that you're not sure of that you need to develop, you have to give him simple play calls. You have to make sure he has basic reads that he can follow. Why do y'all continuously put people in these positions that harm you and that harm your your organization? Because if I'm drafting Sam Darnold, I need to know he needs at least 3 years to develop.
And I'm gonna lean heavy on the run game.
Yes, because if you have a Pat Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow, a Lamar Jackson, those four guys have extraordinary talent to the point where I have to put them in early so they can make mistakes early.
But you gotta remember. But
But
Pat Mahomes set for a minute.
he set 1 year.
Yes.
He set 1 year, of course, right? But when Pat Mahomes was ready, he didn't make the same 1 year mistakes, right?
And he had a good veteran quarterback, but he had a good veteran quarterback to mentor him.
Yes.
And just saying.
And 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 yes, but the thing was the infrastructure was there, and you knew you had Andy Reid there.
Yes.
When you're looking at the New York Jets, there was no infrastructure there because let's face it, in the modern era, Chad Pennington and Mark Sanchez have been the two best quarterbacks for the Jets, right? There
True.
was no infrastructure for this person to learn and
No.
be great. So as an organization, that's the situation where you say, let's bring in the quarterback. Let's bring in the offensive line, defensive line, and let's build a situation to where we can bring in a veteran quarterback and they can take over. That's not a situation where you bring in a young quarterback and develop. Because there's only few organizations with few head coaches and few coordinators that can develop quarterbacks.
True.
And this is what I'm saying is like, why do people choose the wrong situations for these people? And it's an infrastructure like we saw last year, well, 2 years ago, with how the New York Giants handled the Saquon Barkley situation. And everybody wants to understand, damn, why did the Giants get rid of Saquon Barkley? Yes, because of this, because it's ownership, it's GM, it's the people making the decisions. What did Mike Tomlin say? They said, hey, if a guy's draft portfolio comes back, oh, he can't use his hands, he can't use his feet, he can't do this. Well, that's coaching. You
Right.
can coach him to do that.
Right.
I like, and I hate the days of NIL and microwave development, right? Because this is what's wrong with the NBA, right? And AU basketball. Microwave development is trash. You have to be able to teach and coach people.
Oh, I agree.
That is how people get better. In your era, quarterbacks used to sit for 3, 4 years.
Boy, you better know it. You better know it, boy. In three years, that's on the light side, brother. A lot of times they do
Because
they
your starter got hurt.
yeah, and and
Man,
and a lot of times, man, the rookie who they drafted first round, he wasn't the backup quarterback. He was like third string, and they had a backup to the starter. And they were not gonna put that youngster out there. He was gonna set at least 2, 3, and maybe a good 3 years and learn the craft
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
and learn the
And
craft.
I think nowadays with the microwave society and everything, because with social media, a lot
I agree.
You have these bad situations that you're in where you think things should happen faster than what they were. No. If I draft a quarterback in the first round, he's sitting for sure the first year. Because, dude, do people understand from college football to pros, you have DBs that can backpedal faster than you can run. So the moment you go from high school, the guy is open, I'm going to throw the pass.
Wide open.
To
You wide open. And
wide open, in the depending where you are in college football, hey, he open, I'm going to just throw it to the spot. In football, the NFL, it is timing. I have to throw it where he's supposed to be.
he's supposed to be there. Let it go.
That's how most interceptions are.
Let it go.
Like,
And
imagine Kyler Murray dropping back trying to figure out who the hell is open. Kyler Murray can't see a damn thing.
no,
Like,
no, no. And see,
I,
and see, that's the problem with Justin Fields. He won't let it go. They be like, dude, you're not gonna. This is the NFL. There are not gonna be any wide open guys. You have to anticipate where he's gonna be. It's a timing. Throw the ball, let it go. He won't throw and let it go, and then all of a sudden he his natural instincts to run comes in. It's like, and he's not developing. It's like he's got all those skills, but it's like, okay, dude, that's why. And you're right. It is a big
but you
jump.
got to who has developed Justin Fields?
Nobody.
Who looked at the film when Justin Fields was at Ohio State and said, "This is how I have to develop him. This is the offense I have to put him in. This is what happens." Because Justin Fields has all the physical capabilities. It's just like the Indianapolis Colts with Richardson. Richardson didn't have that many starts in college, but he has all the physical capabilities. The Indianapolis Colts failed to put a system around him to develop him as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
That
that
is the Indianapolis Colts' fault.
and you got to get these guys into a system. You have to get them with, like you said, with good coaching that will bring out the best in them. Because I'll tell you something else. Jameson didn't really become a good quality quarterback until he went and played with the Saints. Till he got in that system where, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Coaching makes a big difference, bro. Now let me segue into this. Let me segue into this. You know, once a team wins the NFL, wins the Super Bowl, then other teams are going to mirror them. They either going to, try to duplicate what they did. So are we going to see teams start to gravitate to a mostly a defensive side of the ball? Is that pendulum swinging back to defense wins championships? Are we going to continue to go the Star Wars route with just straight offense?
It's funny how from the jump, from since the day football was created, this was what the purpose was. Defense wins championships. The problem is sports betting decided that whatever this is going to, sports betting and props is made, and fantasy football and money is made off the offensive side of the ball.
Yes.
But notice every team that has won the Super Bowl has had a top 10 defense. That's what people don't realize. When the Chiefs were winning the Super Bowl, they had a top 10 defense. I don't understand, and this is what makes me so mad about basketball and football. Too many people started watching this during, well, after COVID. I'm like, as professionals, when y'all decided to start watching and analyzing film, you don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what's going on. How many people have told you, "Oh man, LeBron is trash"? Nigga, you just started watching LeBron after he won his championship in LA.
Yes. And that's why I don't get into the GOAT conversation, because I tell people, if you have been watching basketball as long as I have, then you'll know that LeBron and Michael Jordan are two different types of players. And there's no such thing as a GOAT. There's the greatest in your particular era, your particular generation, but you can't compare eras. It's just the rules have changed. It's just it is, and they'd be like, well, if Mike played today, he'd average 80 points a game. No, he wouldn't, because, and I'll be honest, I love Mike, but Mike played in an era when I could probably count on my hand on both fingers the amount of guys in the league that could pretty much jump with him. They in the league now. You got guys that can leap like Mike that can't even get off the bench. So the league is a hell of a lot more athletic and stuff like that, and the game has changed and whatever. So I don't get into that. He's a goat, this one and that one, and Sonso played with a bunch of plumbers and all. Like, dude, your era is your era, bro.
And this you can't control when you were born.
No.
Now, back then was the game a lot different because guys weren't as skilled offensively with shooting. Yes, a lot of guys couldn't score the ball, and that was the job of a lot of guys, right?
and, and,
So
and, and the coaches wasn't
the rules were different.
and the coaches wasn't gonna really let you just it was a ball movement type game. It wasn't isolation. Head coaches wasn't gonna just let you clear out and go 1-on-1. If you did, you gonna be able to sitting beside him, because the coaches had more say so. Then now the players got more say so. But like I said, that's a whole different animal there. But here's the thing that gets me though, and that's why I was asking you: Are is the league going to lean more towards? Because like I said, it's a copycat league. Is the league gonna go back towards? Well, we gotta defense wins championships. So right now, hey, let's fall in love with the defensive side of the ball. Because if you think about it, I really don't even know, except for DeMarcus Lawrence, there's not a lot of guys on Seattle's defense who are household names or anything like that. Now, they may be after this year, but I I don't know a lot of them. I just know that they're young, they're hungry, and they do what they're supposed to do, and the guys do their job. They had a hell of a defense.
Agreed. Um, like I said, it comes back to priority. And are we gonna move to the era where we have defensive minded head coaches and we just get a good ass offensive coordinator, right? Like Kubiak or somebody like that, that might be the formula.
But on,
Um,
but see, the thing about that is that every year when you do that, every year your offensive coordinator leaves and becomes a head coach.
but would that work because it's so many offenses are revolutionized every year that could it be easier for you to bring a newer minded head coach? Why? And let me think about this. Is it better for you to continue to keep people off their square by bringing in a new offensive coordinator every year or 2 years? That way he's running the new system that nobody can get a hold of.
And guys don't get tired of hearing the same old voice. And
Yeah.
we may be, it may be something that's new, maybe, because the league is forever changing. It is forever changing. The league is, man. It is a copycat league, and but I can tell you,
And I represent him.
even though today's game started off to be like a defensive game, but it was a good game, and that's what I wanted, man. I wanted to see a good a good Super Bowl match, and it was. The first quarter was just a defensive struggle, a defensive fight between both teams. But you could tell that Seattle was the best team, and there were times while I was watching the game, I even had it in my mind that the Patriots just wasn't going to score at all. It's like their offense just could not get started against Seattle's defense.
And Seattle's defense played great because they understood, let's sit four and let's force Drake May to read the defense. And that back seven for Seattle was great in discipline, great in coverage. They had zone coverage to where, hey, damn, I got to read this, read that. They were playing safeties on the hashes to where now we can mix up the different coverages. Um, that was great by Mike McDonald. That's a great showcase.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, B Dog, let you go. I got another caller trying to get in here, and give me a word for what you do, my man.
Hey, man, this is Brandon Cooper, the Ravens extraordinaire. Next year at SoFi Stadium 2027, the Baltimore Ravens will be in the Super Bowl, and your boy will be broadcasting live on this podcast from SoFi Stadium next year. I'm calling it, baby.
Well, this is for you, my man. How about that?
Appreciate it. Next year.
All right, man. Hey, man. Thanks for calling in. This is the last show. Brother, I enjoy talking to you because you always bring a good, fresh perspective to the show. Your input is always great, man. And we will see you next year.
Hey, man, you know I'm going to be here, baby, because as long as we got number 8 behind Zay,
All
everything is great.
right, all right, brother.
Yes, sir.
Sports therapy. Sports therapy. Sports therapy.
Hello?
Hey, what's up? What say ye?
What's going on, brother?
Hey man, how about those Seattle Seahawks, brother? How about those?
Man, the boy put on a show, man.
Oh, brother, wasn't it? And it was a good game.
Man, yes, hey, man, I tell you what, man. I got to give a shout out to both teams, but this Seattle that Seattle remind me that's what Houston supposed to be.
Yes, they.
With Seattle, Houston, but best team in the New England, but they just got manhandled by a better team tonight.
All 4 quarters, brother. Now, homeboy Glenn, let me ask you this question: is Seattle gonna be a one-hit wonder, or are they the team to reckon with next year?
If they get it to put, a lot have to do with who they resign back, who they resign. If they keep that core on defense, they got right now, and keep the eye they got on offense, and they kind of stay healthy, they gonna be back in there.
And but
Believe me, because this defense is tough. This
and
defense is better than Philadelphia defense.
Oh yeah, and I don't think they got anybody that's gonna give them some issues as far as with salary cap and all that. I think I'm pretty sure that they can manage and probably bring back all the guys. But once you do win the Super Bowl, um, you know, things happen. They and some may be cap casualties and stuff like that. But all in all, man, they look good, brother. And my only, as I was talking to Brandon, my only concern was, um, what were we going to get after the 2 week layoff? That was my only concern. Was they going to come in rusty because they were peaking, and you can tell that they was trying to hold it back until save some for the Super Bowl, and that was my only concern. It's like, okay, when these guys come into the Super Bowl, what are are they going to be rusty? Is the 2 weeks going to affect them? And hell, it didn't.
No, man, I'm talking about that defense. Defense get after you, man.
But
I'm talking about they got depth in their point take guys in and out of there. It's just, man, they loaded, man. They gonna be back in there next year. Believe me.
And
It's hard to win it 2 times in a row.
I know
It's hard to win it like that.
because
Man, believe me, they gonna be well.
because when you're the super
That defense is forcing.
when you're the Super Bowl champion, you're gonna get everybody's A game. The only thing, like you said, injuries always play a part. So if they don't have any major injuries, I can see them, you know, giving a good run to try to get back to.
And they didn't even use their wide receivers much tonight.
No, no, no.
They just they wide receivers, man. They got a good running game. They got a good. They good, man. New England didn't play a bad game. The quarterback had a few rough spots, but New England played a good defensive game.
Well, I was talking to Brandon and I asked him. I say, did the best team for the AFC go to the Super Bowl this year? Was New England the best
I would
team?
say no, no.
Yeah,
I still say, if CJ Stroud had played half decent, had not turned that ball over, Houston had a better. Houston would have had a better. Houston and Seattle would have had a hell of a matchup.
I
That would
think
have been a hell of a Super Bowl.
I think that would have been a better matchup than what we got today because I think both of those team defense could go toe to toe with each other, and then it would have came down to what offense was gonna make the first major mistake, and that's what that's what but and of course with my man breaking his ankle, that in itself was a total change as far as with Denver killing their run, and so. But if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, oh, what a party we would have. So the bottom line is
Man,
you play who you play.
that's right. I mean, I tell you this, man. Uh, I'm gonna say this: the new team like the New York Jets, Cleveland, they know a lot of them teams. Man, that's why they don't never get no. Man, they gave up on that guy too quick, man.
Oh yes,
I know he was young. The guy was about 19 or 20 years old when he came in the league.
yes.
They were hollering about he wasn't. Man, they didn't get that guy. They didn't get that guy a chance. He done improved a whole lot, man.
Because here's the thing, and
Minnesota should have been.
they got buyer's remorse, but what people don't understand is when you pick when you get a high draft pick in the NFL, especially when you're taking a quarterback early in the draft. 9 times out of 10, the reason you're picking one, two, or three is because you are a bad football team. Okay, and that's the good and the bad, and that's the good and the bad of the NFL because before we went to the 17 game season, you most team would you stand around 8-8, 7-9, and all that. You're gonna be mediocre. So it was hard to break out of that because you're never going to get that draft pick that's gonna elevate you because if you 8-8 7-9, even if you pick in the first round, you get a pick in the first round, 9 times out of 10, brother, you picking at, I don't know, number 22, 20, you're not going to be able to get the kind of player that could turn your season around. But when you start, in the top five, you're going to get a player, whether you're on the offensive side or the defensive side, you are going to get a player that's going to have an instant impact input on your team.
Yeah, you gonna get a game changer.
Yes.
But man, I said, Jets gave up on that quarterback. Man, if Minnesota gave up on him, if Minnesota had Minnesota might have been in the playoff. You
Yes.
would say they wouldn't have not been in the championship game.
Yes.
That's all they needed was a quarterback.
And all he
They
needed
had him and gave up on him.
and all he needed was a team that had a good offensive coordinator in place because um, when he went to Minnesota, he got coached up because he was playing and under a team that had a good offensive coordinator who was able to because like you said, man, the guy coming into the league, 19, 20, 22, you need to give those guys at least 2 to 3 years before you decide we're going to give up on him. Because if I'm an owner, homeboy Glenn, if I'm an owner, my coach and my GM, they got some explaining to do to me because how in the hell this guy we threw on the scrap heap, how the hell he holding up the Lombardi trophy?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hmm?
Man, 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 that's the same way you look at C.J. Stroud. He was doing good his first year or two, but when they got rid of that offensive coordinator, he was downhill. He has been the same since.
Makes a big difference. It makes a big
Yeah,
difference. And that
yeah, he got no. Go ahead.
and that's why I applaud the Carolina Panthers because all of a sudden Bryce Young is starting to look like a first round draft pick, you know, and because those first years, he was like, oh, I don't know about this guy, man, but he is starting to look like what we thought he was gonna be. The same with Caleb Williams, these guys are starting to look and play like first round. It's about getting them in the system, getting them with a coordinator that's on the offensive side of the ball. Because a lot of times those guys, man, and the league is a business. It's a business. A lot of times the offensive coordinator, if they're good, they'll have an opportunity to get a head coaching position. So if that happens, then that young quarterback, he's got to learn a whole new system. Some of those guys, man, hadn't been in the league no more than 3 years and already had three different offensive coordinators.
That's true. Then you look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I had about 10 or 11.
Yes.
And
If you,
deep in, I mean, I'm not just talking about in the NFL,
yeah,
just deep in college.
I've been saying because you think about the years he played at Alabama, they had like one, two, maybe three there. Went to Oklahoma, he had about two different offensive coordinators there, and then his NFL career. And you're right, you know, it's just crazy, man.
Hey, but I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question about Pickett from Dallas. They
Yeah,
put the franchise tag on him.
yeah, they put the franchise tag on my
So
man.
what that mean right now? They got the right to uh, so they put the franchise tag on him. What that mean that they can
Well, that means
trade him or what
that
they can do?
that means he has to play for them. Now he has to play for them, and I think what the Cowboys are going to give him, and I'm only quoting from what I've seen, that when they put the franchise tag on him, he's going to make $28 million for 1 year. Okay. Now, supposedly during this period, they can negotiate a long-term contract. But on the problem, what they can do is, hell, they can franchise tag him again next year. They'll pay him a hell of a lot more money, but he still won't be under a contract as far as something that. And most players don't want to be under the franchise tag. It's because it limits their ability to make the most money that they can make. So that's why they don't want to deal with that. But that's the way teams like, I wouldn't say teams like the Cowboys, but that's how some teams retain their best players. It's like, okay, it's almost like we know you're gonna be good. We're not sure, but we don't want to give you $40 million a year over say 3 years at 40, 45 million a year, whatever. We don't want to do that because we know you're a knucklehead. So we're just gonna franchise tag you for 1 year, and if we can all kind of agree, on a contract, then we'll do that. But in the meantime, you still got to play for us, and you can't get no other team can pick you up because you're not a free agent.
Man, I tell you what, they
and I and I and I and I and I think that's why they want to franchise tag him because they don't want to be in a long term contract with him just in case he does something crazy. Then it's like okay, we can get rid of him after 1 year. We're gonna pay him, more money. But yeah, we're gonna get rid of
And man, we could have used it this year in Pittsburgh, and
him.
I don't know what we're gonna do now after we come back playing Aaron Rodgers back. They look back another year. I feel like
Man, I'm just gonna be honest with you, homeboy Glenn. Father Time jumped on Aaron Rodgers because the longer, the deeper that the Steelers got into the playoffs, Aaron was starting to face better defenses. The kind that were gonna blitz him, make him move, and make him do whatever. And when that happens, he struggles. Now, when he's playing against teams that don't have a big blitz package and they kind of try to get to him with a 3-man front, oh yeah, he's gonna excel. But those teams like the Tennessee Titans, teams like that, who they're gonna come and get you. And he don't have the arm that he used to as far as throwing. Now he can still throw deep, but he can't throw the deep out and all those timing patterns and stuff like that. So yeah,
yeah, but I don't know, man. I got a feeling we're gonna go out and get somebody like a Kyler Murray or maybe Troy Tucker.
and and
Doing up.
and I think Kyler Murray probably would have. Now that's just my opinion. I think he would have. I think he would have fit in with the Steelers. I think that kid out of well, I don't know what they're gonna do with him. The kid that's still with the Saints. I can't think of his name right now. I think he would be a good quarterback for you guys too. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I know you're talking about.
I think he'd be a good quarterback for you guys. Now, what do you think about Kirk Cousins? Because
Man,
the Falcons released him today.
but he did.
Yes,
Man, you know what? To be honest with you, you know what, man? To be honest with you, I wouldn't really mind taking a chance on him for 1 year
yes.
because he can't do no worse than Aaron
he
Rodgers.
he,
He
def,
give me a better chance.
he definitely can't do he definitely can't do no worse than Aaron Rodgers. Because I'm telling you, man.
And I think he'll give you a better chance. So one thing about Kirk Cousins now, if he get on a new road, and something will get hot on you now.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and that's the thing about Kirk would do now. He going yes, but he'll throw an interception in a minute. But you know, but then again, I'm only thinking about when he was playing and quarterbacking for the Redskins. Now, when he went somewhere else for the Vikes and all that, he got a lot better. His decision making got a lot better. And I just think the Vikings probably if they had to do it all over again, they probably would have kept him because I just know right now with JJ as their quarterback, I don't know. I just don't think he's that good. That's just my opinion on that. But I, you know, but I
Man, he come out. They judge that guy. They judge that guy by the team he had in Michigan in
yes,
college. They
yes,
really didn't see him do nothing but that in college.
at all.
No,
I was
so
like,
to me, he got judged more about that team. Yeah.
and that's why I was like, okay, what did this guy do to make anybody think that he's that great? Because I'm kind of not seeing anything to be honest. But yeah. Mm, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Man, I tell you what, we had football was good this year.
Yes, it was,
We
man.
we had
It was.
it, yeah. Seen a few bad teams, but if you really look at it as a whole, every team kind of it was competitive. Even the bottom team were competitive this year. And I think it's gonna only get better.
Yeah, because this.
What do you think about they not put?
What now?
Go ahead.
No, no. What was you asking?
I was gonna ask you about Robert Kraft, New England owner. And I go,
well,
I believe I heard you say this. What they gonna do about?
See, here's my thing about you know how I feel about the NFL, the NFL Hall of Fame. Now it's like, why do we only get like I don't know 5 6 guys in the Hall of Fame? I'm not convinced that Luke Kuechly is a Hall of Famer, and maybe now I didn't follow the Panthers that much. I just think his body of work wasn't long enough, so I don't think he is. It's just like with my Redskin family, I don't think Sean Taylor was should be in the Hall of Fame because now he was good, he was great, but it wasn't long enough. You know, uh, it wasn't long enough. That's my opinion. Now, we oh yes, Elijah Craig should be in there. Darren Woodson should be in there. Um, Jacoby should be in there. There's some guys that should be in the Hall of Fame. But they're starting to take today's generation and based it on today's stats and figure, okay, well, this guy, he didn't have as many schools. Well, back in the day, they wasn't throwing the ball around. It was more, 8 minute drives on offense and low score and whatever. It was a physical. It was that was the game back then, you know. But it's changed but no, I don't either. Yeah, I don't get into it, man. Nah, it, right. Right. Because I'll be honest, if it was up to me, would no owner be in the Hall of Fame? If we did, it would be a different category. It'd be like the owners section or whatever. Hell, it'd be totally different. But you shouldn't even owner should not be taking the spot of a player because hell, last time I looked, not one owner ever got tackled. Not ever, not one owner ever made a touchdown. I like hell no, you know, and that's just me. I just I just think they need to have a separate way to honor them in the Hall of Fame, a separate section, a separate whatever. But they should not be, nah. Yes, right. Almost every time. Almost every time. Almost every. But but what was weird though, homeboy Glenn is like you said, the team was so equal this year because there wasn't a team that I could just truly say, this team here is going to win the Super Bowl from start to finish. There was some teams that look hot, then all of a sudden they look, they look like a hot mess. There were some teams that start peaking early, and so, but that's what the league wants, man. They wanted to be competitive. The best team, yes, exactly. And they're gonna get it, and they're gonna get everybody's A game. But like you said, you got to beat the champs, and just like I was talking to Brandon. Oh yeah, and as I was telling Brandon, yep, mm-hmm. And because they got to get well. 49ers got to get well. They got to figure out what they're gonna do at some key positions and stuff like that. But they always seem to come back strong. There's some, so it's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be interesting next year. It really and truly is. But homeboy Glenn, we're about to bring this year to a end. Hey man, let me say this before I go. Um, I don't know did you do anything on your football pool, but I'll be honest with you, brother. It was a good day for sports therapy with FA Junior because brother, I hit on the numbers nine. I believe it was 9-2, and so yeah, yeah, three, yeah, 2-0. And brother, that was a nice little 500.
I had a 7-7 and a 4-7 and couldn't get neither one of them. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
That's the way it
I get
go.
the forward next year. I ain't gonna hold you. You and the guy Brandon, even though we rival, I enjoy listening to him sometimes. With the Ravens, he picked them to be back in the Super Bowl next year, which they should have been in 2 or 3 already with the talent they got. But they will be back, and they get the right coaches and get that ball to Hendricks and let him and Lamar do their thing. They always gonna have a chance.
True that. True that. Yeah, but like I told Brandon and some of those other guys, I say, man, those teams like that, that window's only open for so long because then you start getting these younger teams like the Houston Texans, Seattle. Those teams are starting to come up and hey man, they trying to do what they're trying to get it done too. But it's been a good year, brother. And I look forward to you guys next year, man. Appreciate you calling in, man. Man, I always like to listen to what you got to say, man, and what people don't know, man. We like I tell people, brother, we go way back to potty training, brother, because our families are so close, man. We go, yeah, brother, we go back all the way.
Always enjoy you as a friend, man.
Yeah, yeah, you.
And I'm always hating the bad down. I'm always hating the bad down the Cowboys. They got that day.
All right, brother. We getting ready to wrap it and cap it because you about to hear the sound of my music. All right. Once again, it is time to bring the big top to an end. For my homeboy Glenn, calling from the great state of Arkansas. My homeboy Brandon from D1 Ignorant University. Jay in Grand Prairie. The Country Kenny's down in Arkansas. All those in the Metroplex, Urban ISD, and all those that allow me to be me. This has been another season of Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. Hopefully, we'll be back next year bigger and better. And we'll be in the same time, same bat channel for all that good stuff. And once again, as they say on the yard, always stay golden. Always fight the good fight. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening.